Hello there. Thanks for watching my views and news. Three new stories. Firstly, Oromo Liberation Army is encircling Addis Ababa. Ola calls it Fin. A top Ola commander appeared 48 hours ago, less than 48 hours ago, and he shared details of Ola's operation to make the government of Ethiopia, federal government of Ethiopia, collapse. What did this man, this commander, say? Details for you. Secondly, uh, Trump Sisi meeting, Sisi's visit of the US has been postponed. What led to the postponement of Egyptian president's visit to the US? Should Ethiopia be relieved now? Because it was being said that if Sisi and Trump join hands, it could lead to immense pressure on PM Abiy's government. Thirdly, Tigray is complaining about receiving less fuel from federal government. Fuel shortage in Tigray is worsening. The head of the relevant department in Tigray has shared some details of the problems faced by Tigray. Let's start first. Firstly, Oromo Liberation Army's deputy commander gave an interview over 24 hours ago. Gamachoboy is his name, and the man talked about Ola's strategy, Ola's plans, Ola's history, etc. Uh, Firstly, he claimed that Ola does not receive any support from outsiders. It only receives support from the people of Oromia, which is not correct. It receives support from diaspora community. Ola in the past received support from Eritrea. It's everyone knows that people like Ola fighters, Andergacho Sege, Brahano Naga, they had their hideouts, their bases in Eritrea during EPRDF government. Uh, Jula and company accuses Ola of backed by Egypt. At least Eritrea backed Ethiopian armed groups in the past. So here, Yamachoboy's claim is definitely not correct. Secondly, he talked about the history. He said that 48 years ago, OLF had to start the struggle because Oromos had been subjugated in alliance with foreigners. That is why OLF decided to fight for the people of Oromia. And then he talked about Ola's strategy to encircle Addis Ababa. He claimed that Ola is pursuing a strategy of the collapse of the government. It wants the government of PM Abiy to collapse. And for that, it is gradually encircling Shoa and encircling Finfane. It is moving from Shoa towards Finfane. It is carrying out attacks on BP officials and security officials very close to Addis Ababa. Finfane, he called it. And Ola's destination is Finfane. Now, can we say Ola is encircling Finfane, or is it about to encircle Finfane? Uh, let's do a separate video on that. We have to analyze all the things before reaching a conclusion. Then he talked about the future of Oromia. What is the future of Oromia? An independent Oromia country or independent Oromia region, part of Ethiopia. He said it's up to the people of Oromia. After Ola gets power, then people will decide whether to secede from Ethiopia or to remain part of Ethiopia, but as an independent entity, regional entity. This is what Gemacho Aboy claims. I think Gemacho Aboy and Komsa Dereba are trying to reassure their supporters that OLA is still a force to be reckoned with, though Ethiopia and Kenya are conducting a joint operation against OLA, though some OLA commanders have surrendered. It does not mean that OLA is finished. OLA is strong, stronger than ever, and it is rapidly moving towards the capital. This is what OLA commanders want to tell their supporters. Secondly, viewers, Sisi Trump meeting postponed. Abdul Fattah al Sisi was expected to visit the White House. Trump had invited him to visit the White House. But Trump gave some statements which made this visit almost impossible for Sisi to conduct. Trump said that he wanted to expel or relocate Palestinians from Gaza into Egypt and Jordan. Jordanian king visited US yesterday and he agreed to take 2,000 Palestinian patients, children mainly. This is what he said publicly. What did he agree behind the scenes? Not clear. Sisi was due to visit Egypt too. And by the way, Egypt receives over 1 billion US dollar military support from the US on yearly basis. Ethiopia mainly receives aid, humanitarian support from World Food Program, USAID. Egypt receives military support. So Egypt is America's key security partner, you can say, when it comes to US policy about Middle East. Sisi sent Badr Abdul Layth, his foreign minister, to Washington before his visit. Badr Abdul Layth had talked to American officials and he said that the issue of relocation of Palestinians from Gaza into Egypt must not be at the table at the meeting between Trump and Sisi. But Americans don't agree, and Sisi has postponed the visit reportedly. It was being said that if Sisi and Trump join hands and they reach a solution about the issue of displacement of Palestinians, Egypt and Trump will jointly put pressure upon Ethiopia about GERD. And Trump will tell Abiy to sign a legally binding agreement about the dam. But keeping in view the tension in Egypt US relations, Ethiopia should feel relieved, I think. Let's see how this issue of settlement of Palestinians is solved. Will Trump suspend military support for Egypt? That remains to be seen. I think Trump needs Egypt. He will not take serious action against Egypt. Trump needs allies in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia, UAE, Egypt, etc. If he starts taking action against all of them, who will support Americans in the Middle East? Israel alone perhaps wouldn't be sufficient. Lastly, we was Tigray is complaining about shortage of fuel, saying that it is receiving less fuel in the region. That is why shortage of fuel is turning into a challenge for the government, the regional government, and for the people of Tigray. By the way, it's not just in Tigray. Fuel shortage has been reported across Ethiopia. I videos recently, I showed you clips from Amhara region, from Gambela, not Gambela, from Benishangal Gumuz region, and some other parts of Ethiopia too, where long queues of vehicles, in Addis Ababa too, where long queues of vehicles were seen waiting to buy fuel at fuel stations, and sometimes people have to wait for hours to get a few liters of gasoline at gasoline stations in Amhara region, in Benishangal Gumuz, and in some parts of Addis Ababa too. Did not see any videos from Oromia. In Tigray, too, situation is not different. Gabriel Maskell, Tariq, head of Tigray's relevant department, shared some details of how much fuel Tigray is receiving, diesel and petrol. He said 5 years ago, Tigray's demand was 13 million liters of diesel and 2.5 million liters of gasoline 5 years ago. And now Tigray receiving less than that. Tigray receiving, it received 11 million liters of diesel and 1.5 million liters of gasoline uh, at the maximum by the federal government in a month. It just shows that the amount of fuel, amount of diesel and gasoline being provided to Tigray by federal government is way less than the actual needs of the people of Tigray. But as I said earlier, this issue of shortage of fuel is being faced by other regions too. Thanks for watching.